Driving out of camp. Tuesday afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a live drive this afternoon. Good evening to you. Good morning to you, wherever you may be on planet Earth. My name is Mark. Rob is with me on camera, and Brian in final control. And that thumb came out because we don't have that camera and we don't have this camera at the moment. Might change. Now just wipe your eyes. There, can you see me better? Boy, has it been a fight to get this all back together again. I can't take any credit. Rob and Brian have done a splendid job. It has been a technical nightmare trying to get it all going. The equipment that we've used on this vehicle and the Jigger, or rather and the Gunda before, equipment that we've always had, we've never had to change fuses, and all of a sudden, all of a sardine, we've had to open them up and change fuses, and then it's a matter of having to get to town to get the fuses. First the one piece of equipment, and then yesterday the other. So we're hoping that everything's, crossing fingers, holding thumbs. I'm going to knock on wood a few times while we're driving, and I'm going to see how things go. Thank you for your patience. I have to be honest that it's remarkable how patient you all are, that you're still there and you're still waiting for us to come back. And as disappointing as it may have been over the last few days, well, we're back again. Let's hope that there are no more hitches from here on out. We haven't missed much. The last 2 days there hasn't really been much. Nobody's seen any leopard. They haven't seen any lion much at all. They've been looking. Only really buffalo and elephants. And, well, haven't decided what we're going to do today. I think we're just going to head north. I was having a look around this morning for leopard, but we couldn't really go far. We needed the vehicle in camp, so we haven't done any filming. We haven't really done much. But there were leopard tracks. I kind of lost them in a big block of bush, and when they go into a type of area like that, there's no way of knowing where they're going to be. They could be anywhere within 50 to 70 acres or hectares, and it's up to patience and perseverance, waiting for them to move, which will be this evening perhaps. Anyways, let's go up northwest. Oh, we need a little bit more volume.
No, it's because you're talking away from the mic.
And that
It echoes as a double.
You see, that's going to be a problem. I've got to look at you, but I've got to have the mic here. Alright, well, we'll figure it out. We nearly had another problem because we were going to go live. That's why we're a bit late. Rob and Brian put everything back together again, and then tested it, and then tested it again, and then mobilized it fine. She said, play nice. So now we've got the camera up and running, the broadcast come to go.
Is that not the immobilizer?
No, the immobilizer's off. Nothing would happen if it was. If the immobilizer was on, it wouldn't.
Sound.
What sound?
Beeping.
No beeping. Oh. No, I haven't run out of fuel. It was fine as soon as I stopped. It's a problem that dates back to the early days with Jigger. Because if you start it and you drive it just for less than, and you don't warm up the engine, she does this.
So get out and push.
These relays are fine. These fuses are fine. I think everything is good. It's just the fuel injection. me cut my fingernails. One, I've got all 5 there, I've got all 5. Let's count tree. Well, just gonna wait until she calms down. Maybe floats a little bit. It's just a battered old Bambi. Les Sugar. So, welcome to our PM Safari here, Thornybush Private Nature Reserve. Let's hope we can have a lovely afternoon, make up for some lost time. I did notice there have been other vehicles driving around looking for leopard tracks. Must have been after drive perhaps, I don't know. Not unusual to have other tracks, unless it was late in the morning. Let's see what the boys have to say from the lodges when they come online. Maybe you didn't hear too much about me saying hello, but I guess I might have just waffled on anyway. And hoping that everybody in the US of A had a lovely Memorial weekend. Okay, question from Deborah. Hi Deborah. The difference between buffalo thorn trees and other thorn trees. Okay, this is an other thorn tree. This is known as the scented thorn. This is part of the acacia family. A couple of interesting things here too. But all of the acacias, can you see here next to where my hand is? And one of the characteristics of some of the acacias, not all of them, are these white thorns, and on this particular species they're fairly long and sharp and very narrow. The other thing about acacias are these tiny little leaves are known as actually compound leaves, because instead of being one big leaf, the leaf itself is divided up into what we call leaflets, and this one's got very, very tiny leaflets. That's just a thing about speciation. Then we'll find a buffalo thorn, because Deborah wants to know the difference between buffalo thorn and other thorns. Well, we'll find some other acacias and some other thorn trees, and then I'll show you the buffalo thorn as well. But what I do find interesting up here, can you see that up there?
Okay, well, did you get the pods?
No, next to below the pod. Oh, you can show the pods as well. Those are the seed pods. The massive silk.
Yeah.
These pods are highly nutritious, sought after by game. It's just before they get too dry. But that little mass of silk is the egg case of the big golden orb spiders. And in a couple of months' time, we're going to be able to see how they start. Hang on. Sorry, suddenly noise in my ear, and it's so distracting to trying to talk to you, and I have the guys talking about coming online, coming on air, setting out on their drives. But in a while, that is going to hatch into tiny little red spiderlings. They don't even look like anything like the big golden orbs that they grow into. And they stay in there for a couple of months until their second molt. And then they fly away and spin webs and become, well, grow into big golden orb spiders that will next summer. Maybe there's still one or two old golden orbs hanging around. Okay, so that's an acacia thorn tree. Those thorns are what we would term, well, they're thorns, so they're modified leaves, as opposed to, say, something like this, which in the spine, this over here, is known as a Y thorn. Are you on this one, maybe, in this pot of sun?
Yeah.
Easy to see why it's called a Y thorn, because the thorn is in the shape of a Y. Only it's not really a thorn, it's actually a spine, which is different to a thorn. It's also known as a num num, or a yum yum, or a num num. That's Carissa, bispinosa. And its scientific name, bispinosa, two-spined. Has a lovely red berry. Very, very tasty, very high in vitamin C. As are a lot of fruits in the bush.
Carissa's a nice name.
It is, Carissa comes from, let me just check quickly if it's in this one. My dictionary of, oh, looky. That looks like actually blue jay. That's from an American blue jay. Feathers. Every book of mine's got feathers. Carissa is probably named after someone. Cardiosperm and is it double R? I don't think so. No. This is more of an international book on plant names, so not likely to know it. Only some things that's not in there. Carissa, maybe my other book, one of my other books can tell me the derivation of the name. But bispinosa is easy enough. Shoe spine. This is another lovely fruiting tree. Jacket plum. Jacket plum is Capria. Capria to Here's the buffalo thorn now, the zebra. You'll be able to have it right in the camera's face. You'll see it. I need it closer to me. I won't be able to pick that up and the light is off. No shortage of buffalo thorn. I will find another buffalo thorn. See, buffalo thorn, first of all, is not an acacia. It does have thorns. And in fact, like one or two other acacias, the buffalo thorn has two different thorns. It has a curved thorn and a straight thorn. And most acacias are either curved thorns or straight thorns, but every now and then you get an acacia that has a curved thorn and a straight thorn. That is like the acacia tortilis, also known as the umbrella thorn. Very characteristic tree. You see pictures of the typical umbrella shaped thorn. I think let's go and see the Albedo pad first. Instead of being there for 2 days. Nice in the afternoon. Some of the acacias only have a curved thorn, but of course very important for acacias to have thorns. It's one of the distinguishing features of an acacia. Acacia, the name acacia is actually from the Greek word akos, which means needle or thorn. Which makes me wonder sometimes why they want to call all the Australian acacias acacia and they want to change all the African acacias. Because the Australian acacias essentially don't have thorns. They're wattles. How can you call an acacia? Never mind, I'll take that up with the botanist when I meet him. Okay, buffalo thorn. Don't worry, no thorn. The little acacia. Maybe Tanguti being mauled by buffalo. Come back to the story. Red horse. Hello. Geraldine says we have stories. She's heard stories about elephants who know they're going to die and they go to a special place to die. What happens in this reserve? Well, Geraldine, it's exactly that. They're just stories. There's no real special place that elephants go to die. When elephants are died. Grey-headed bush shark was sitting on an open branch and then it ran away. No, it flew away. It flew away. I don't know if that was a data that came through the back. The water's almost gone. The thing is, Geraldine, you see, elephants, just before they die, of course they know they're going to die because their teeth become too worn to feed on vital elements of their diet, things like the roughage, your bark, branches, and that sort of thing. Here we go, here's a buffalo thorn. I'm remembering. Even got a few berries. Maybe I can I'll stand on the seat and look at those ones, not too far away. Okay, Geraldine, please just one moment. I'm just going to address the buffalo thorn issue. I don't know if you can hear me, I'll try and shout. Piece of dead branch. There's a piece of dead branch on a leaf. There you go. See, maybe you'll hear me. Okay, so what's different to the acacia leaf is a single leaf, known as a simple leaf, on the buffalo thorn. And the thorns, well, this one is a dead twig. It's hard to tell, but they're actually a reddish color when they're alive on the branches. There's actually a waxbill nest up there as well. We can't go further, we've got a spider spinning a web already this time of day. The curved thorn and the straight thorn. Can you see that?
Yeah, I zoomed in.
Okay.
Come on, focus.
Okay. I can't really hear anything bush-wise. No breaking branches or roaring lions or nothing happening. Buffalo thorn. Can't find some other thorn trees and spiny trees away. Getting back to Geraldine's question now about elephants and going to places to die. And their diet is very specific. Although it's a wide-ranging diet, they'll eat everything from grasses to roots and stems and branches and leaves and... Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
No, No, I bumped this wire.
Yeah, it's kind of loud.
It came out of the duct tape. Sorry. Note to self. Not do that again. It wasn't my elbow, it was my foot. My left foot. So when they're getting really old and they can only feed on grasses, one finds that elephants tend to go to places with lush green grasses, maybe marshlands, riverbeds, places where they don't have to chew too much but they can still feed a little bit, and so you might find that that's where the rumour came from, or the stalk, where that story may have come from. But there isn't really any special place that they go to die. There goes that stalk. It was hiding away.
Hey, I got camera 2 with me.
Good. Come back to camera 2. No camera 2. Put the back one up. So for years there were these rumours of elephant graveyards where elephants go to die. And I think by now, since the bush has been explored quite extensively, I think we can rule out the possibility of that even existing. But also, when an elephant dies, its family members return to that spot, return to the place time and time again. And they actually carry bones away. So actually, after a while, you don't even know where an elephant died because its bones become scattered. Its skull eventually fragments from other elephants rolling it around and touching it and moving it. And after a few years, once an elephant has died, not really much left, not much to say that is where an elephant did pass away. Same as a baobab. Yeah, but baobab also such soft wood it rots away within a season. These giants that live and grow and then disappear on the face of the planet. I'm not go up there, go up Joshua Chain. Go to near Lake. Near Lake. Road of the Stars. Stars Road. That big tree up there, another acacia. It actually looks like a robusta. Tiny little thorns, you can't even see the thorn. Big brackthorn acacia. One of this big tree here, the biggest, is probably in the region of 500 or 600 years old, at least. One of the densest woods known to man. And that wood sinks. It also cannot be attacked by insects. Termites can't get into it. The borers of all the wood boring beetles, the larvae rather, of the wood boring beetles can't get into it. And that tree can live for a few thousand years, and then once it dies, it will stay standing for a few thousand years. Bless you. Absolutely stunning tree. In Zulu they call this tree Mapondondlovu, which means the tusks of the elephant, because it's got a very, very pale bark, a very, very pale appearance. Okay. One of my favorite trees. There are a lot of trees. Most of these trees are my favorite trees. Sometimes it depends on whatever I'm watching becomes my favorite. Until I see something else, then that becomes my favorite. So there isn't really any favorites. They're just all really wonderful living creatures and plants. Everything out here, the whole ecosystem, all one big living organism divided up into all the smaller components of the individual organisms that make up the whole. Truly remarkable. Yeah, but I saw those tracks this morning. I was listening to Hendrik and Tom. They're talking Shanghai. So I was tracking that leopard this morning. I went in the yard so interesting. I was on leopard tracks this morning, and then I went out to town, came back, and found that somebody had been driving all over the place where I had been driving after those leopard tracks. And it must have been Hendrik. But he was now talking about that leopard moving down to Hamerkop Loop, and there wasn't a single track down in Hamerkop Loop this morning, so I might have just missed her. Maybe we need to go back that way in a little while, just before sunset. Because they might come to those pans and drink. Maybe they're lying around those pans. Might be an idea. Jan or Jan? I think it's Jan. Please send another email. It's put me out of my room. Let us know where you're from, Jan. That'll settle it. How endangered are South Africa's leopard? Well, it depends. Sorry, it does. Are we talking about these low-felt leopards? Are we talking about leopards outside of wildlife areas? And are we talking about the Cape Mountain leopard, the Cape leopard? Because it's a different subspecies, it's a smaller cat, and it is somewhat endangered down in the Cape. But that is because, well, actually one doesn't really know. They are picking up a lot. There's a project in the Cape, down near Cape Town in the mountains, to identify and collar individuals and try and monitor and try and try and establish the populations that exist down in the Cape. In the Kruger Park and in a lot of... Excuse me. One moment, please. Yeah, just switch that volume off and I'm not interrupted. Unless I interrupt myself and I get sidetracked by a leopard. But in the wildlife areas, actually they're not endangered at all. Very healthy populations of leopard in most wildlife areas, most game reserves and national parks, right throughout Africa in fact. Obviously human encroachment and human settlements causing a lot of conflict with leopard in places, as it does in, say, the west of North America, where the mountain lions are conflicting with humans because humans are spreading out into their territory, into their home ranges. That's much the same as the parts of Africa where human settlements are expanding, slash and burn agriculture spreads out into wildlife areas, and there are encounters or there is conflict. But all the way up through sub-Saharan Africa, look at this, there's so many snakes moving around today. It's the third snake track I've seen. Also there's this front that's moving up from that again. But I mean, India, for example, as well. I think there's still a few leopards around India, and the burgeoning population there is also proving to be, there are just a lot more incidents. I think we'd be in a bad area. Horrible squeak. I can't hear any squeaks. Let's talk about my voice. I mean in the earphone. No. And this. Yeah, maybe. Well, it's breaking up. It's not. Yeah, it's gone again.
Maybe just
Why am I not getting the spanner? Yeah. No, my microphone's very steady. Steering wheel's not squeaking. Brian's saying that when we go over bumps, it starts squeaking a bit. Oh, yeah, I think I just heard that squeak. I've got a vehicle packed with equipment and all sorts of things. It's bound to be a little rattle and squeak here and there. Although we do try and eliminate. Hello. Oh, that's a big boy. Any station drive near Letty this morning? I just want to know if anyone was on near Letty this morning. Abonile mkonzi ya ngalo. Mkonzi kwa madodo ngalo. Try down this road here, and well, Brian will tell me when we do signal, because we might. I don't want to. How's it, Hannes Marker? I'm going to try. He was heading east, but then he left the road. I'm trying to establish where he left the road. I can't follow up if he's turned off north. Okay, copy. Yeah, no, this is probably from last night. It's just a short stretch where he came onto the road. No, it's further east. It's closer to Mangawan. Hey Brian, I didn't get that last one of yours. You were breaking up too much. Okay, copy. Let me know if we lose signal because I'm heading a bit north. Squeeze that antenna through this gap. getting better at it. That pan got a name. Yeah. Where's the woman? Where I guess we can come and help us. I think we need to check the other side of the main road of Magnaletti. Because no matter what angle he took, he would have crossed this. Jan again from the USA. Wanting to know about identifying individual leopards. It'd be a lot easier if I found the leopard to be able to explain it, Jan. Well, it's relatively straightforward, although it's not simple. The pixel art of identification is as straightforward as it sounds. Since leopards have spots, and their spots are as identified. Okay, I'm going to have to wait because we're breaking up. I'll get back. Oh, watch. And broke the cable tie. Okay, excuse me a moment. White one. Oh, anyway, we walked it up. We're going to try head south down Mungawan. Because he came this way, and I don't think he crossed this road. I didn't see. He might have. Grassy patches where his tracks wouldn't have shown at all. Getting back again. So let's look at the fan. Last station, please repeat. Copy, thanks. So getting back to Jan, leopard spots are all as unique as our fingerprints. Subsequently, you could take any position, any part of a leopard, whether it's the shoulder, or the face, or the base of the tail, or any part of it, and find a particular marking that you could probably remember for that leopard. The easiest, of course, is to take the forehead pattern or the spot pattern around the face, the eyes. The spot markings of the eyes are very, very distinctive. And it's this is trying to follow a leopard. No, just elephant tracks I'm listening to, what they're talking about. Being a little bit quiet or pushed down, animal wise. No, they should be coming online soon. At about 1:45. Should be about 1:45 by now. 5:02. So maybe Brush College School in Decatur, Illinois is with us. Burger. You there, Ellen? Okay, so that was, hopefully Jan, I managed to cover your question about identifying leopards. If you see a leopard, we'll be able to talk more about that. This lion didn't come this way either. This sweet peacock flower, I haven't shown you a flower for a while. Okay. Get it. Yeah. There were a couple in there. There was actually a carpenter bee on those. I'm not too sure. I've got some lovely photographs of this flower, but I still can't find it. It is pea family, a very distinctive pea-shaped pod. the legumes, Leguminosae, the legume family. I think Deborah was asking about weaver birds. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. How large can the colonies get, and can they damage a tree? Deborah in Florida. It depends. I'm going to have to find synonyms for depends. No, it's not. Because it depends on what species of weaver. It can't be a general statement. It's got to be specific.
Sociable weavers.
Sociable.
Asking about sociable weavers.
We don't get sociable weavers.
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, some of the sociable weavers in the far west. In the west. Okay, can we go? Here's my flower. One of my flowers, ladies. They can get very big. That can cause a lot of. They can break branches. Those big sociable weavers, they can. Yes. Other colonies. The colonies of weavers who spin or weave single nests. Their colonies can get quite big, and they unnecessarily damage the trees. They strip the leaves of the trees so that they can build their nest. But not too bad. I'm sure Ellen will. And I'm sure the kids will have questions. Hannes, come in. Hannes, come in. Hannes, I went a little way up Mangawan to the north. Didn't see anything. There's a little pan there. Didn't see much there. I'm heading south now on Mangawan, and I'll let you know when I pick up anything down here. I think somehow I went further west and I missed this track. Sorry, further east. Draw. There's my door done, guys. Summitable. That's summitable. Here he is. That's why we didn't find these tracks. Came down there. Good. Maybe it's old. I must just check before I commit myself to it. That's my lion grows wings every now and then and flies and doesn't have any tricks. Comes back onto the road. Where are you, boy? Hey, watch. I'm watching.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. All good. Nice drainage line interest. Oops. This is where I first found the lobelia. Now I'm seeing this little lobelia everywhere.
Drainage line.
Drainage line. Really pretty hard soil. Can't find a cat track. This is sandy spot. Old leopard tracks going north. The line they might have gone down into the drainage line. Not a deep drainage line. Oh, leopard tracks. Yeah. Spotted camel. Buffalo thought might give us some trouble. This is old. go follow that giraffe and find it. And come back here and try and find some tracks in the road. But yeah, so one camera. Do you want these on or off? One's off, one's on. One's got a red light on it. This one came on its own. Hello, Mr. G. Relax, old man. I'm chasing you. Very dark giraffe. I must stop like this at this angle.
Straight into the sun.
Now there's a tree in the way. I'm going to get through. I want to go further east again. Turn around and go back. now in Benoni. Up to Benoni. Excuse me a bit. It's not always easy tracking lion in an afternoon. Lion always best. In fact, leopard is similar too. But leopard are more likely to move around during the day than lion. And not that it's a hard and fast rule, because in nature there are always exceptions to whatever rule you can think of as a rule. But lion will move during the night, and then also they'll sleep a bit and then move again sometimes, well, generally. And then they move again in the morning. And then after the took. And yes. Thanks, Brian. So for the cats, especially the lion, they tend to bed down for the day. They'll find a spot and they'll go to sleep. And because they're so accustomed to the vehicles, quite often you'll find that if they're lying flat, what we call flat cats, they're lying under a tree somewhere, they might not even lift their head. Whereas in the mornings they're still a little bit active and they're easier to find. Anyways, glad to hear that Brush College School is with us. Hello everybody from Brush College School, Decatur, Illinois. Last day of school. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, Memorial Day weekend. And I'm just going to check the line tracks on this road now.